Hey guys. I hope you can hear me. I'll go here real quick. Oh my god, I do not remember that being on such an angle. This delay in starting stream over the past few weeks has entirely been due to me being lazy. And also having work to do, but mostly being lazy. Today I happen to be sick, and as that happens, that is the perfect time to stream for me. Because it means I'm awake during the day, and I don't feel like doing anything else. Hi, Keo. Hello, everyone. Sorry for not individually saying hi to people. This must be a good time to stream. Nah, I've picked this time quite intentionally. Have you tried not being sick? Well, duh. But, everyone and their mother is sick right now. I don't know anyone who isn't sick. Or at least, isn't, a little bit symptomatic. And mine's literally just mucus all up in the throat. Yeah, see? Also sick. You need soup? I've run out of my favorite stock cubes, so I can't make soup. Because I don't like soup a lot, but then there's a very specific mushroom stock cube that I like to get. And I need it. So I can make it. Also, I find soup doesn't help me a whole lot. Not any more than tea does. So today, for today's stream, the little plan we have is I want to start doing writing streams, but this is the setup so far, and it's not particularly interesting to look at. So today, I want to work on the overlay for it. So I'll be working in here. By the way, I have no idea why everything is slightly shifted to the left. Let's see if we can move that. Yeah, that's probably fine. A little bit of scuff, that's the vibe for every stream. But yeah, I've sort of roughly mapped out what you can see for the writing setup. And then I want to figure out what to go on the overlay. That's the plan. So the main thing to sort of prioritize for the overlay is you want to be able to see my little guy, my little avatar, and you want that relatively uninterrupted. And then also the actual writing document. Now, if you're not aware of what program I'm using for writing, it is Libre. I actually haven't figured out how to pronounce it because no one talks about it. What are you doing live? I'm figuring out how to set up my overlay Lobster, and I said that if I didn't go live today, I'd give you subs. So, really, this is just protecting my finances. Yeah, this is Libre, or Library. And it had to be subs because I know you'd say, oh, but bits give me more money as well. But this is like Word and Office Suite, but no AI. I've got my no AI writing tool up. Because a lot of new writing tools that people promote is you can create a document, and also you can keep track of your characters, and also you can do this, and also there's this feature and that feature, and 10 other features that you don't need. If you want to get into writing, you need one thing, that's a document. And then it's nice to have things like formatting tools. That's all you need. You do not need any other feature, and I swear by it. It would be nice to have more storage, though. Or better storage, but that's not the fault of the programs you use. That's just a you problem. Oh yeah, wait. What is it, Keo? Oh no. Oh yeah, the tea I'm drinking, you just write in your code editor? Yeah, and you're disgusting. That's foul? Yeah, I know it's foul. If you've ever tried reading one of Lopta's scripts, it's painful. Thank you, Kyo. Lovely to have our favorite subscriber here in the chat and moderator. Right. But yeah, these are the things that I mainly want in view. And then I think it might be nice to have a little box down here. It can be uneven. I like to have emote credits for Lee. And like if I ever commission anyone else to do emotes. Yes, we love the Lee emotes. The little bouncing guys. But yeah, we want an emote credit box. And then other socials. Lemotes, yes, the Lemotes. I keep getting really tempted to commission Anya for emotes as well, and then I always get that when I don't have enough money to do that. And also my avatar is annoying to simplify, because yes, you can simplify it into the but there isn't much to work with that form, and then there's too much to work with for the other form. That is the issue I've given myself. You just noticed that my Squish has credits to Lee, but Lobda's one doesn't? Yes, you'd be correct. That's because Lobda doesn't care about artists or, credit or anything. His literal thing is that you can use his art to do whatever. And he's also lazy. Lobda, if you're still here, Lobda, have you monetized your YouTube videos yet, or are you still waiting to do that? And then I imagine that other socials box can probably be dramatically quite a bit smaller. Because I don't need to promote a lot of that. And then I probably want chat. Something to the effect of that. Did it yesterday, now you're waiting for approval? Damn, imagine needing approval from other people. Alright. Now, the other thing is, and you can't really see it much from this view on Medibang, this is on a different layer, so I can have things that are behind and things that are in front, which is also fun to work with, if I can be bothered to do them. But it does mean, if I have all these sort of lopsided squares over here, I can have a few strange shapes behind my model that do not interrupt that you can see my face, which is beautiful and amazing. But it can also just tie things in. Now, I have somewhat of an interest in, covering things up here, just because I think it's boring. But also, if I'm ever doing, more tech, in quotation marks, stuff, and I'm, showing people how to format stuff, I do want that visible, so... But at the moment, we're very, bottom heavy. I don't imagine I'll be using a lot of stuff up there, so I can really abuse that chat box needing to be bigger. Also, I do really apologize for the sound of my voice. I feel like I'm a little bit nasally. Although, again, that's because I'm sick. I called my grandma this morning because she's been a little bit sick as well. And she was like, yeah, your voice sounded really strange. And it's yeah, grandma, I'm sick. I like to message people before I call. And I messaged her, I said, I'm sick. And then she called me anyway. You know what you never want to do? Call someone when they're sick from, like, a sore throat. Because I was very specific, I said what it was. And I knew that she wasn't sick from a sore throat. She was sick because she consumed too much fiber. And now she wants to go on a carnivore diet. Because she's been, like, her whole life, she's been she's been a fiber maxer. She eats vegetables, she eats the leaves from every tree. That's, like, I grew up going on walks around the neighborhood and just stealing shit off people's trees. And so that went bad for her. And now she's like, oh no, I want to go on the carnivore diet. And she wants to test it out because my aunt usually gets migraines. And she's like, maybe if I test out this carnivore diet, she'll do it after me. And then she'll stop having her migraines. And as a little bit of background for those migraines, my aunt once told my sister that the reason for her migraines were her massive boobs. I was here when you used a bunch of filters. I don't think there's anything to be sorry about having a stuffy nose. Okay, fair. But, like, having a, like, nasally voice is, like, built-in filters. I need something in this little area, but I don't know what. It doesn't feel like a very good use of wasted space, or like free space. I don't know. I always like to have a bit more of a slant. Like, I'm inclined to push all of this slightly that way. So we can have all of that, and then maybe something there. So that way we have like a slant going inwards. I bring the focus sort of into the text document. Just being mindful not to encroach too much. If I'm doing script writing, it's all sort of in this sort of inner area on the document. And then if it's not, then it's mostly concentrated up here because it's the top of the document. So I'm okay with it being a little bit busy. This is a distraction. Vanquished. Okay. What else do I need to think about? This is my draft layer, by the way. And if you're wondering what is the, like, writing document I have open there, this is Yank Seppo. It's a project for uni where I'm writing about a murder that has occurred in Grafton. I will say I didn't have any say in the matter as to, like, how do I put this? Alright, we had full creative choice over what we wanted to write about. I chose this because it is a story I'm familiar with, and that is the murder of my grandfather in 1998. However, I need to be careful with how I refer to people because I don't want to dox myself here, and if, very strong if, anyone ever saw this actual TV script, and I'm writing it for a more practical application, even though it's just for a uni assignment, I wouldn't want it to reach the gang responsible for the murder of my grandfather, as they are still active. So I'm having to use actual details from a real case without actually interacting with the case. It's a lot of fun. And maybe later we'll do a read-through of the script, and maybe a bit of writing, because I was in class the other day, and we're in our final week of the semester. So we've all done phase 1 workshopping, which is where everyone in the class reads it. I'll go. Everyone in the class reads the piece, and everyone gives their feedback. And then this last week we're put into smaller groups, and we're sort of like matched up with other people writing similar things to us. And we need to show what we've done after that initial workshopping. I did workshopping in the first week, so my teacher, who loves me, bye Corby, my teacher was like, and if you're like Arthur, who did their workshopping in week 1, then you might have more to show. Which is to say, she thinks I've done more work than I have. I have not touched the draft for this until today. So I need to make it look like I've done about 6 weeks worth of work by tomorrow. So that's fun. But for now, we're just going to work on overlay. A little bit of overlay. Hold on. Oh, thank God. I thought for a moment there that the chat had reset itself. It does that when I go between the different scenes, which is a little frustrating, but whatever. Whatever. Alright. Now the next thing that I like to work on for doing an overlay is a palette. The Ever Fun palette. Now, I have no intention of changing the settings for the, for library, whatever it's called. Just because I'm lazy. Like, there's a way to do it, I can't be bothered. So instead we're working with a mostly white background with, like, some gray tones, and then, like, the really high chroma, like, blue, yellow, and red. But they're just in, like, little highlight bits. They're little tiny little details. No one's paying attention to them. I'm just gonna mark that down here. And of course those colors are all on my design as well. You've got the yellow, you've got a more desaturated blue. So if we just put that there. There we go. If we give subs, do you have to add a rat to the script for each sub? I'm going to say no, because it's being marked for an assignment. And I'm not even going to let people pay me to mess up my work. This teacher, I am her absolute favorite student. I don't want to push that, okay? I want to get my top marks for the least amount of work possible. So I think if the blue is mostly there, I think I only want that sort of blue to be for, like, the small shapes. So, like, the little circles and triangles. And then I'll probably... A lot of my emotes are this sort of, like, pale greyish colour. So I need to make sure that they're on top of a darker one. I think from memory it looks good on the red. But I'm trying to remember. But imagine if the teacher likes it. I mean, she would, but I have to comply to genre. And her specific, like, thing that she specializes in is exactly the genre that I'm writing into, which is fun. You know, really set myself up for failure. Why did I decide to have dark text and light emotes? It means, like, everything has to be on that sort of grey. I think I'm okay with the idea that there's, like, red line art around the things, and then... Oh, maybe I put the other socials up here. No, I don't want it up there. I'll keep this area sort of clear. Here we go. Emote credits. Other socials. Chat. That's you guys. You guys are chat. And then I need to be able to see the blob And also, I think the text color I use is that one there. I love having my palette just always handy to the side there. It's really helpful. I think that means I can do this one in yellow. I could be wrong though. If it's sort of warm yellow, I think that works. Go there, that. Then I can do the yellow line out there. Maybe. And then we actually invert those so it's blue line art and red boxes. And like we can have other little shapes in there in the different variations. That might be an idea to go for. Yeah, you know what? I fuck with that. Not immensely fuck with, but I fuck with that low key. Ugh. I'm sorry if I sniffle and you guys hear it and you think it's gross. It's mostly instinctive. The tea I'm drinking is also quite strong. It's got carrot and turmeric, lemon myrtle, black pepper, ginger, lemongrass, licorice, fennel. I've been really enjoying adding fennel to my tea. It's got licorice in it. It's got turmeric in it. It's all just a bunch of really good things. I think if it had beetroot in it and which one is it? I think it's olive leaves that are quite good for this as well. Those would all be nice. But yeah. I think that will be my little color palette scheme, and I have just deleted it, and I might regret that, but I don't think I will. There's sickness in the title, I think is understandable. Good. And like, it's not like you guys can catch my disease from wherever it is you guys are coming from. You know, maybe I should have kept that in. The, thing telling me what I was doing. That would have actually been nice to keep. Okay. Let's start with the chat box. Let's go like that. What do we think of that shape? I'm not a big fan of it personally. I think more like that. And I think I want more like hard shapes on this one because I feel like, I mean, the chat boxes are still square, but there's more movement on the drawing one. You like the sort of rhombuses you get? Yeah. I'm asking you what I think, what you think, sorry, and it's just like, it could be anything. Strong opinions, of course. What font do I want? Let's go for that one. Chat. Just like a quick question for anyone who's still here. When we go to this screen, is that angle okay for reading chat? because it's fine for me because I usually have my head tilted when I'm drawing anyway. But for the sake of, switching over to the writing one, is that fine? You can, yeah? Maybe like a less harsh angle? Because I'm just thinking about over here, that chat box will probably look really weird if the writing isn't kind of angled. Herm. So I'm going to switch to the marker real quick. Hello, or Quang. I've forgotten how to say your name, it's been so long. All I've got is Cure from Lobster, and I know that's not quite right. If it was a bit less, you're sure it would be easier for others? Yeah, I'm pretty sure as well. Something to that effect. Let's go about there. Let's have our other socials. Ah, yeah, just like that. Perfect. A bit of wonk. A little bit of wonk for the soul. Never hurt anyone. I wish my nose was properly blocked, but it's literally just mucus in the, I don't know enough about biology and where things are, but yeah. You get the point, I'm sure. No, I wanted that on there. Oh, it is. Cool. But yeah, it feels like it's been a while. What has chat been up to lately? Are we behaving well? You've done nothing much as always? Yeah. I mean, I feel like people put too much of a priority on doing things. Why can't we all just be lazy AF? Everyone deserves to be lazy every day of their life. Ooh, maybe I do want that all in red. Because, the other thing I was considering there was doing that one in blue. Ah! Not like that. Excuse me. Excuse you. Medibang. The rent don't say so. Rent is not an issue for me. I live at home. As in my mom's house. Rent is her problem. Except for when she makes it my problem. But, that's fine. I said she could do that. Okay. Ugh. I forget how much I hate the thick teas. The herbal teas for being thick. like, ugh, why? They make my body react in ways. It's like not spicy enough that it hurts. It's just like lingering. I like specifically the combination of lemongrass and ginger. I find to be very overwhelming for some reason. But I think that's more than lemongrass. I just don't appreciate how it makes me sneeze a little bit. It's not as much as an issue as like having oranges, but it still gives me a little bit of a reaction for some reason. Ah, that's not a straight line. Oh yeah, I might try streaming more for Pride Month. That's also something I was thinking about. But I don't know what I'd really be doing. I want this on a slightly different angle, I think. Oh, I can have that dip in there a little bit. But I think I'd rather it dip in there. How's that looking, guys? What are we thinking so far? There's this tea from Vicks that is lemon and honey that just killed you whenever you had it because of the flu. Yeah. Vicks is low-key the goat of like any sort of congestion. I'm sure I have some somewhere, but mysteriously whenever I buy stuff when I'm sick, like cough syrup, Panadol, anything like that, it disappears. I have a sneaking suspicion that someone is stealing from me, and that person is my mother. Because, like, I should have a really good throat relief syrup somewhere in this house. Like, I spent $20 on it, and I know I didn't use it all up last time I bought it. So it's gone somewhere. So, like how there's like the... Hold on. Oh, it's frozen again. Why? It's frozen again on my end. I don't think that's a... Oh, did stream die for everyone? That might have been just an everyone stream die. Is stream still dead? Just in case. It's possible that's just not working. I think it's coming back. I think it's fixing itself. OBS is giving me good signs. Are we back? We're back. We're back. Everyone, we survived. Hell yeah. we're all good. We've talked about, and by we I mean my mum and I, we've talked about getting a different, like, Wi-Fi. Like a different service provider, but who knows if that will actually happen. Anyway, the emote credits on here, it's a carousel, so it's a slideshow, so it flicks between the different emotes. So that would probably go here. But here we're just going to go. Do it in the line. Emote credits. Could anyone tell me if I've got this wrong or right? I'll just make that a little easier to read. AKA smaller, significantly. I could even fit the credits in this small box. But also I want to show them off, so. The big box just means that if we have anyone else make emotes for us, we could just fit it in there. I'm pretty sure that's his thing. Hell yeah. And then I just want to make that a little more jank. Because we can't just have a random good square, can we? All the jank. All the janky text. Ricardi, what? That's just Lee. Yes, it is that one, just checking. Hell yeah. Then over here, What do I want in my other social thing? I think I'll promote my Twitter and my Blue Sky in there. Let me just check they are the same address. Because I haven't really got anything at all on my YouTube. So I figure there's no need to promote that until I'm actually in a position to be making YouTube videos, which I do want to do. But nonetheless. Ew, x.com, ew, gross. What color do I need that in? Everyone hate their ex, for real. I mean, I don't really have much of an ex situation, but I can do that vicariously through my mother. I can just hate all of her exes. I'm promoting my Blue Sky, which I don't really use to interact with people at all. Like, part of social media is interacting with other people's posts, and I don't do that very often on Blue Sky. My more active Twitter account is also not my, one that I'm using for this. So that's also quite fun. I should really change that about myself. Where am I? There we go. Additional jank. Never too much jank. No, I'm gonna change that. I don't like it there. I'll rotate it again. Put it there. You know what? I do have room for YouTube. Is that enough for YouTube? Just like a little triangle there? No. I don't know if I want YouTube on there. I don't know what to do. It's fine. Wait a minute, I might have something for this. Let me go through my images. There's a good chance I don't have what I'm looking for. But just in case, that shall look. Well, I can't find it, and I don't need it, so that's fine. Is there anywhere I can put that on the overlay, though? Because I do love dismissive wanking gesture. Wait, I can have it as an asset that I just put on the screen, and I can hide it. Yes. And it can be that big. The dismissive wanking gesture, absolute cinema. Oh, I know what I can put here. The Discord command, which I will do like this with the actual text tool. That would be smarter. Actually, I might just quickly check if that needs to be capitalized or not. Yeah, cool. Lowercase. I will say one of like the very few downsides of Medibang and its text tool is that you do need to convert it into a color layer if you want to edit the text, like the color or the size, in a way that's helpful. Like you can still do it from the text tool, but still. Nightbot does do the command quite often. This is true, but just in case. Sometimes people want a little agency in their life. Have you considered that? Discord. Actually, I might do that in my white color. My whitish greyish yellow. There we go. True. Here on the Arthurial channel, we want everyone to be empowered. Thank you, Kyo. I was about to drink straight from my hot tea canister, which would have burnt my lip. Oh, there's so much smoke everywhere. Not smoke, steam. But still. Don't mind me. I'm just having a bit of a moment of my brain buffering. It'd be doing that sometimes. Let's have a circle. A little circle there. Little circle there. You just find it funny that it's on the screen in chat every 5 minutes and in the title. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know why I push the Discord so much too. There's like nothing interesting happening in that Discord server. But still, I do it anyway. For funsies. Also, if I check something real quick... Jesus, I'm looking at Lopta's Discord server right now to figure out how many people are in it. Yep, we have 200 members in the Lopta Discord server. So when Lopta goes live next, let's all congratulate him for having 200 people in his Discord server. Because that's a pretty good milestone, I think. He's definitely getting a community over there, and that's really fun for him. Actually, it's not really fun for him. He seems to... No, I've seen him on Sundays. He'll join the general VC with a lot of other people, so that's really nice. You look at my Discord like a cool sort of time capsule, and yeah, that's the really like fun part for me, because I was doing a writing archive subject during like when I was really enjoying streaming. And so for me, a lot of like my YouTube channel being like a VOD archive thing and having the Discord server, I do really like it. Your boy famous, you're so proud. Yeah, I mean, you've been around for ages, Kyo, so... It's really nice to see Loftus community growing. And I am genuinely proud of him. Okay, and then over here, yeah, let's get this shape in there. Let's go, oh, I want that a little thicker. Yeah, like that. This will go behind my avatar. So if everything else over here would be like I can actually just all go behind so far. Anyway. Where am I? What planet am I on? Ah. I see. I do think all of those things can be on one layer at the moment, but there we go. Said that he streams at a time you're unable to watch, but cool to hear he's been well. Yeah. And his art has also improved quite a bit since, like, from when he started streaming. And that's also been really fun to observe. Okay. Let's get a red circle. There, I think that works. And let me check this real quick. I'm being flattened. No, my perspective. Yeah, so that would look like that. I wonder how many people there know about the boyfriend roleplay audio and the memorial incident. You'd guess those people are long gone by now. Oh, I'm always sure to remind them. I let the legacy live on. But actually, I think the memorial incident has been brought up for a while, so I might have to change that. Yes, you can rely on me to make Loftus Community feel just a little bit more like he's a true artist. Slightly controversial. How do we feel about this as our overlay? I'm not too concerned about that other social thing looking messy, by the way. Because I do think for platforms like Twitter and Blue Sky, it's actually better to get followers from like using it rather than putting it on a stream, but I have it there anyway. Also, I need to update my link tree, but that's neither here nor there. Will there be anything else at the bottom right, or will that space be empty? That will be a carousel or like slideshow of the different Lee emotes. Like how it shows like just beneath the Medibang screen. Like on this. Like how it's displayed right now on the screen. Words. They're hard. I don't like them. Let's take a look at this. Where is it? Oh, I need to organize my files better. This reminds me of something, but you can't put your finger on it. I mean, it's a really common set of like patterns and colors, like a lot of like, it's like sort of retro. Maybe it's just too cheese coated. Yeah, that too. It's also very like 70s, 60s as well. I think. I'm pretty sure that's the era I'm thinking of. I could be wrong. Okay. Where is it? Eyes work faster than you currently are, please. Oh yeah, I was looking at Artfight and I was thinking I might do that again this year, but I'm not super sure I can be bothered. It's definitely something to stream. What is the script? This is for a uni project. It is a TV show, pilot episode. It's a murder. Well, it's more of a crime. It's a crime drama. A comedy crime drama. Where is it? Oh my god, eyes, work, please, I'm begging. Ah! Oh my god. Did I save the file wrong? I didn't. Ooh, what's going on here? Bizarre. There we go. How's that looking, everyone? A little chaotic, but appropriately so, because welcome to my channel. That's what we do, we're a little chaotic. Let me just also get chat in here. Ah. Has that also changed how it looks here? No, it hasn't. That's good. Let me just... Yeah. I might have to create a new chat thing for that. Because that isn't entirely readable. But yeah, that, again, just like the typical scuff. I'll do that off stream. Because it's annoying to do. But yeah, this script is... This is just the first 6 pages, because there's the title thing here. And this is the draft that I'm working on for peer-to-peer feedback on Friday. Emote color test. Oh, it's looking bad, but that's fine. I'll tweak that off stream, I reckon. I mean, like, I can tweak it here, but, like, I don't know. I think because the text is so small, the emote colors are probably fine. It just needs to be bigger. Like... about that much bigger. No, we'll probably be smaller than that, but still. I need emotes that are more readable. That's an adventure for later, though, I think. Not today. Maybe... Let me check this one. Let me see if this chat is better. Double chat. Hold on. Yep, cool, that's fine. There you go. Oh, Centipede. Hey. You had an idea? What idea did you have, Keo? Oh yeah, I think I actually added more emotes to BTV or BTTV. Does anyone know what the correct thing is? I certainly don't. What have you been up to, Centipede? Better TV, that's what I'm referring to. Because I'm a regular, I don't use 7TV, I use Better TTV. Where is it? Let me look at my dashboard, please, I'm begging. I mean, I know that there's Lobda, but I just like swords with the gay emote. Oh, have we crashed again? Are we still here? Or is that just Twitch? You don't think we crashed? Cool. That was just my Twitch stream manager being streamed then. What else have we got? Got aware. What is it? Oh, sorry. I'm just putting in chat some of the emotes we have. Because they are fun. But yeah, I literally go to Tubbo's stream and just steal as many emotes as possible. I'm a big fan of Dink Dunk. Hi Plum Voidex, welcome in. Thank you for the compliment. And thank you for following as well. We're just going through some of our BTV emotes. BTTV emotes. Oh my god. But yes, we got the Dink Dunk. Holy moly is there. Ha, PP Hop. PP Hop is fun. Wait, let me take a look at that. Oh, you made your name. Alright. But yeah, in this chat sort of setup, you're not going to see much of your name in the first place. Should we do some writing on stream? Are you guys down for a bit of a swap from overlay work to this? Because I'm not feeling particularly artsy at the moment. Oh wait, hold on. I've forgotten something important. There we go. Did I draw my PNG as well? Yes, I drew my little PNG tuber. I usually do more art streams and more things in that variety, but I'm also a writer. I'm currently doing a thesis on video game writing. And also working on a TV script. We have a lot of fun around here. Are you an artist yourself, Plum, or a writer, or anything in that sort of creative area? Yes, I'm just switching the category over to writing and reading. Do I have any other social media other than TikTok or Twitter? I also have Blue Sky, which I can quickly drop a link to. Yeah, I don't use it all that often, but I do check it every now and again. You draw. Nice. If you want to share your work, you're more than welcome to. I don't know if links are enabled, but you can join the Discord and drop your art there and we can take a look at it as well. If you want. Not forcing you to share. It's just if you want to. Actually, I might open Medibang back up. I was just closing it, but now I'm thinking it actually might be good to have open for the part of writing where we talk about plot structures. You've got your password though? It's probably fine. You can also drop a link to your own social media if you want, I think. If it doesn't work, it will still pop up for moderators so we can rescue the link from autoban or anything like that. That's something I need to work on. My competence and skills as a streamer are bad. Do I have Instagram? I do not have Instagram. I use Instagram for family stuff. Because it's connected to Facebook. Ah. every time I pour my tea, the steam goes everywhere. Ugh. Alright. Let's go here. Alright, so something we look at in the field of creative writing is plot structure. The most common one is your beginning, middle, end. Pretty much every story will have a beginning, middle, and end. Your beginning is where you set up the status quo. Then you'll have your sort of inciting incident. Ignore my ugly ass handwriting. And then over here you'll have your sort of like rising conflict, your journey, all of the stuff that actually happens before you reach your main conflict. My drawing tablet is terrible for writing with. I'm not sure I've mentioned. To regulars. Conflict and then resolution. And if your story is encapsulated neatly within that, it's quite easy. You can write just about anything. When you get into serial writing, let's just make that a little smaller. You've got a mini arc, which is part of a bigger arc. And sometimes that story can span with many different arcs in which, oh, you're in the Discord? Exciting. Welcome in. Feel free to post your art. You can also see a lot of the art that I've done, and also Ivy also posts in there a lot, Ivy Drawn. And other people post to the Discord as well, but yeah, feel free to drop your stuff there and get yourself acquainted with it. When you're doing serial storytelling, there are sort of two approaches. One is if you're episodic, you don't have this bigger storyline. That's not there. It's just beginning, middle, end, beginning, middle, end, beginning, middle, end, with the same characters and the same sort of theme that connects it all. It's got the same dramatic question. So this works for a lot of superhero shows where you have your hero and that hero solves various problems. Or if you have a mystery show, there's a mystery per episode to solve, and your sort of bigger overarching thing is looking for solutions for things. Or if you're in like a specific story world where it's about exploring powers or how far people can go or corruption or anything like that, you're basically solving the same problem but with different characters. Or different problems. You get the point. So the other thing you can do is you can have this sort of situation where you have multiple installments that come together for one big dramatic question or story. So for the project I'm working on, which is Yank, in brackets, Seppo, and I can explain that name. Yank is a term for an American, which in like Australian country slang became, it's Yankee, I think. It's Yankee into Yank. It's Yankee into Yank because Australians like to drop syllables. Yank sounded, or it rhymed with septic tank. And then that's too many syllables again, so it became Seppo. So I'm writing about my grandfather who was murdered in Australia, and he happened to be an American soldier. Now, it's fairly obvious that he is the one who is dead, but in my episode 1, the dramatic question is, who is dead? And we actually already answer who the killer is, more or less. So if you have any sort of murder plot, who is dead, who the killer is, and how are they getting away with the crime? Or are they getting away with the crime? So for me, my episode 1 is Who is Dead? And that's Dan. Dan is the answer, and the question is, who is dead? And that's episode 1. Episode 2, is it his wife? As in, hold on. Is the killer his wife? That's episode 2. And we sort of get this. And so by the end of it, we need to have these 3 questions all answered. And also the why. The why is an important one, for this in particular. Now, for the assignment, overview, and guideline, I only need to write this episode here, and then have a summary of what happens in the rest of the series. I'm doing this as an 8-episode limited series. It is a crime Oz drama, which is also with elements of comedy. In brackets, satire. Because I don't want to get on the toes of the currently still active gang that killed my grandfather. So, I have to be careful. No real names. Now, so far in this first episode, I've got, for the sake of simplifying this, it's 25 to 30 pages, I believe. I've got, we'll separate it here. You know what? Let me think about this a little bit. I've got 6 pages. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times. So 3 times 8 is 24. I want to aim for 27 pages, I think. I think that's within the word count. So we'd be doing 9 page markers. That's 9, 18. That's 1, 27. Right. So I've got sort of like the first 2 parts of part 1 of the episode, which is establishing our status quo and also our inciting incident. So if we move over here, we go to our writing screen. Welcome back to the dice overlay, not the crappy old drawing overlay. We start off with a montage. We get to meet Bethany and see her and her daughter and her husband. And then we get to reach the crime scene. The inciting incident is pretty immediate, but the main thing we're actually getting is we're meeting our detective and the original sort of like witnesses. As in like who sees the body, who finds the body. So we have this sort of like Detective Avery who's very, this is a toughie, how's your wife? She'll be right, private, check the body. There's this guy who's really chill, he's not particularly serious, and he's got sort of like a lightheartedness to him, which is going to be very juxtaposed with our other characters. Now after we meet our detectives, we meet our gang members. We've got Locust and Mark. There are more, but they're a bikie gang and they're pretty small and localized to this area of Grafton. They work at a pawn shop. That's where they operate all their criminal stuff. And they're having a conversation where Mark is messed up. Mark has also definitely just killed someone. And so it's very clearly established from the first episode that this bikie gang kills people. But whether or not they're directly responsible for Steve isn't clear. Now, my plan is to, in episode 4, to convince the audience that this is a red herring. So they'd find another body that is attached to this gang, and they'd go, by the way, I thought you would have cropped the borders and top of this just to show the text in the middle for some reason. That's originally the case, but the reason why I haven't is if we're looking at... Oh, where is it? Does that show up? Let's find out. Alright, so for me there's a drop-down menu that shows up when I click things. That doesn't show up because I'm only displaying the window, but that's fine. The idea is that I can tell people how to reach things. At the very least, there's a reference for me to say, alright, we're going into format, then spacing, then line spacing, or something like that. So I can read the different things. In any case, the first sort of 2 parts of this is entirely dedicated to introducing people to our characters that are going to be in the show. The next part here is to flip back to our main family that we're following. So in this sort of opening montage, sorry, I've gone back. I need to, there we go, back here. I know what I'm doing, guys. It's not scuffed. It's not scuffed. I swear. I promise. Fingers crossed. My fingers are crossed always. Never trust a word that comes out of my mouth. Alright, where am I? Brain, do your thing, please. Opening montage, we get introduced to the actual main characters. Hold on, I'll focus characters. But we're only seeing them. We're seeing them from an outsider perspective. And then we get sort of in with our cops. And then with our criminals. And then we want to get back to our sort of family main characters. So we've basically got 3 groups. We've got the small little family. We've got the cops. We've got the crims. Now the cops are actually harassing the family more than they're harassing the criminals. The family is going to be trying to hunt down the criminals. And these guys are actually quite happy to work with each other. Because this is set in Grafton, which is in New South Wales, which, if you're unfamiliar with Australian politics, a lot of our New South Wales government and police happen to do a lot of work with our bikie gangs. There's a whole lot of corruption, and there have been investigations into that and things to stop it, but this is an ongoing issue that still has not been fixed. And if you ever want a really good YouTuber to sort of get specifically in the know about that, Friendly Jordies. Don't pay attention to his comedy. His comedy is mid, but he does a lot of investigative journalism into Australian corruption in our politics. So I definitely recommend that. His house got firebombed by a gang, and the government was definitely involved. But that's fine. That's whatever. Allegedly. I'm not making any accusations. I'm expressing what was told to me on the Friendly Geordie's YouTube channel. Smile. In any case, sort of the major components of the show that I'm writing are access to mental health services. Mental health. Oh, come on. Access to mental health services. So, my grandfather was a vet from the Vietnam War. He was super a drug addict and had PTSD, and he just wasn't doing well mentally. And it was quite difficult for him to receive care. Now, in real life, after his body was found, it was ruled as an assisted suicide. So, we know it wasn't that for a few reasons. First of all, at that point in his life, things were actually turning around quite a bit. But second of all, he was shot in the head with a shotgun at close range after being chased. And we know he was chased because there are multiple witnesses who witnessed the chase. So we know it wasn't an assisted suicide. And that's where we get into the other point, which is corruption. But back to over here, we have there was very little help for my grandfather, and there's very little help for my grandmother, who, after the murder of her husband, was treated like a suspect. So she's having to mourn and she's having to defend herself, and that's quite difficult. And then she also had a teenage daughter, who is my aunt. She was also struggling because she's mourning her father. And then, of course, there's my own dad, who was in another state entirely. He was down in Victoria. So there's grief for everyone, there's a whole lot of chaos, and there just isn't good support for that because we're in late 90s Australia. And even now it's pretty bad if you're in the country. But yeah, it's late 90s / 2000s. Hello, how are you all? I'm doing good. Hello, Nikon, welcome in. Are you a writer or an artist? I'm just doing a bit of plot writing for a uni assignment. Just a chill little stream over here. You're a drawer and a writer. Nice. Same here. If you want to share your work, we have a Discord server where you can post anything like that or any socials. Feel free to link them. It's lovely to have you around. Ooh, yes, I'm excited. So we've got police, legal. We'll just do police corruption. And also addiction. These are the sort of like three little areas that this script is going to be tackling. And all three of these things have to be mentioned in this first episode. Ooh. Alright. Let me read this. I'll just look at it on my phone and also take a sip of my tea, because I'm a little bit sick at the moment. For their part, the top brass were fully aware of the indiscipline running rampant. Fortunately, you didn't hand the worst scum from a lower city over to just any commander. It took someone with strong nerves and an even stronger backbone to handle those men without calling for disciplinary executions every 15 minutes. As a result, the drill instructions pulled no punches. The only language their recruits understood was, hit them, and if they don't get it, hit them harder. That's interesting. That's a nice little snippet you got there, because immediately you're sort of like drawing in all these questions from the reader. Because we've got this setting where you're like dealing with discipline, so you've got some sort of enforcement of like disciplinary hearings. I get the sense that these are like... I'm getting the impression that the people who've like been... Sorry, my words are all over the place. So I'm getting sort of like a military impression, which is nice. Yeah, accurate description of army training. I'd assume so. I've not personally had any army training, but definitely like creating this sort of like strict environment. Definitely for sure. Are you releasing your work anywhere, or is this just for yourself? Because I find a lot of people are getting into writing nowadays, which is really fun. Your work could be edited so you don't share it, but you have an Instagram for your uh, non-official drawing. Yeah, that's nice. How's Instagram treating you? Because I find Twitter and Blue. Are we back? Are we back? Sorry, my Wi-Fi likes to pull little tricks on me. But yeah, I find a lot of people who write with English as their second language are oftentimes better than people who write it with their first. Because I think you pay more attention to a lot of the areas that first language English speakers just kind of avoid. I'm from Australia. Yes, I am Australian, and I set a lot of my writing in Australia because it's my little backyard, and it means I can use slang a bit more freely without it being strange. You were wondering which accent is this? Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I will say my accent right now is very affected by being sick, but also my accent is a little all over the place because I just speak weirdly. Apparently. Allegedly, I speak in a strange way. But yeah. It sounds normal to me. Like, my accent is completely fine to me, but I've had people ask me if I'm not from Australia, even though I've been here my whole life. Yeah, sure, you can drop your Instagram. We also have a place on the Discord server for self promo, because I don't like to open any like Instagram links when on stream, just as a bit of a safety net. But yeah, yeah, I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it. Oh yeah, very like a lot of military sort of like uh, enforcement. It's very nice. You've got a lot of like black and white stuff, which is really cool. I don't see a lot of people who are like, "Hello, taller than lobster person." Hello, Reaper. Welcome in. Yeah, it's always nice to see people doing black and white. Like that sort of style is very nice. I'm just gonna blow my nose real quick. So I'm just gonna go mute for a second. Alright, how's my day been? My day has been pretty good, with the exception of being sick. Um, but that's just how it goes. We've been working on overlay for the writing stream. The writing stream, like we're not currently working on writing, but you know. We've crashed twice. Just like the usual, you know? I'm thinking I might do just a 2-hour stream today. Just because it's been crashing so often. And I'm sick. Oh, and there's the steam in my face again. Oh damn indeed. What have you been up to, Reaper? I feel like I haven't seen you much in the Lopta chat. You've been thinking of making your own story. Very nice. Do you think you'd be writing that as like a visual novel or just like text only, like prose? I know how words work. Because this is all script stuff. This is TV script writing. I have to use a different program for actually writing it, but all my more so for the formatting of the TV script than the actual blocking out the story or anything like that. You got started on working on your own model? Yeah. Got back into streams and thinking about ideas for other things? Very nice, very nice. Okay. Now, another thing to keep in mind for writing scripts is that it's generally one page equals 1 minute. With some like flexibility for that. Sorry, there's an ad happening in the background. I apologize for that. As for what you want to write, you have absolutely no idea. Maybe thinking of some horror. Horror is very fun, I think, because you're really calling on writing to the senses. So like, let's just draw a really bad hand here. It's fine. That's fine. That's how hands can look today. So like with sight, touch, smell, whatever the other ones are. No, we want taste. I'm also going to have another one here, which I'm just going to mark down as intuition, and I'll explain that in a sec. Hearing. So when you're writing horror, you get to play with all of these. I feel like I know a monster that looks like their head. You may need to expand on that. When you're writing horror, you could take all of the senses that people are used to experiencing and just twist them. So if you can describe something that looks one way typically, but it's different. So instead of the sky being blue, the sky is described as being green. Why the hell is the sky green? Also, you might have given me an idea for a monster that slowly erases your senses. That's also an interesting thing. So like slowly losing any of these is also good. Hearing is also good for writing. Taste is the hardest one, I find. It's deceptive. Because like when people describe having blood in their mouth, it's described as a metallic taste. But actually writing horror in a way that is less conventional and actually like more creative and original, you need to know a lot about taste and how people perceive taste and how to describe it. So I'm not a tea sommelier, so I actually don't know a lot about this, but I do sell tea. So when we're trying to get someone to buy a tea, we talk about sweetness, we talk about lingering taste, we talk about aroma. We talk about sort of spice, we talk about tannins and bitterness. So all of those things are really fun to work into taste. as far as what something is supposed to taste like versus what it tastes like now. So it's creating this sense of what is uncanny as well as what is unexpected. Because you want people to feel fear, and fear of the unknown is huge. Expansion of the last thing. I remember seeing a monster made by someone who had your hand as a head. Is that like a... Hold on. Let me get Pan's Labyrinth. I wonder if you might know this one. Small trigger warning for everyone on stream who's seeing it. This guy. So in your opinion, how would someone losing their taste be like? So we know from COVID that that's something that people can experience. And a lot of time it really defamiliarizes you with what you eat and what you consume. So it becomes more focused on texture. And then like there are some things like chili where you can't taste chili but you can feel the heat still. So I know a lot of people who have sort of like damaged taste buds will gravitate towards hot food, like spicy food. But then if you're losing your sense of taste and your like ability to feel things at the same time, your sense of touch, eventually chewing on food or using anything in your body becomes just moving the jaw. And that can be quite unsettling if that is the only thing, that you're able to experience. Oh yeah, you remember that dude? Yeah, I love that movie. Pan's Labyrinth is amazing. Big fan of it. Where am I? What planet am I on? Oh, my brain. Hold on, give my brain a moment to reset. See, here's the thing. When it comes to my focus, there's some music that really works and some music that really doesn't. So the music that I'm playing at the moment, not helpful. Have you watched the Taro movie? No, I haven't. I think horror films based on Taro are stupid. And that's just because I have a lot of respect for Taro reading as a practice. Because as a medium, like the actual practice of Taro, you've got a few things that you're looking at. First of all, you're interpreting an image. Hold on. We'll go the Hanging Man. That's my Hanging Man, everyone. Really elaborate. So it's interpreting the visual meaning as well as the assigned meaning. It's interpretation. Interpretation and manifestation. And on one hand, it's entertaining. Because it's like, you have... I still have my tarot cards. I didn't get rid of them. I have a few decks. I have 3. They're entertaining because it's like, I can discuss how truthful this is, or I can discuss how nonsense it is. But it's also engagement. Engagement with spirituality. Which is not the same as, like, I'm trying to convene with a god. It's spirituality is sort of having a connection to a higher power in any form or capacity. And I think I really appreciate that in this day and age, because a lot of people are going through their life in a way that's quite soulless, in my opinion. Like, it's literally about getting the next pay or doing things in a really structured, like, I do this so I can do that so I can do that. And I think being able to connect with your spirituality and this sense of what could be and this sort of higher sense of what life is really nice and important. And I think a lot of the horror that clowns on spirituality is asking you to adhere to a rule structure. Monotone? Yeah, it's also quite monotonous, yeah. But the point is, it's without spirit, it's without life, it's survival. So I think any horror movie that capitalizes on spirituality specifically is laced with a bit of, you can only have spirituality in the sense that it's magic and ridiculous and stupid. Which I'm not a super big fan of. Like, it can be done in a way that's really nice, but a lot of the time it isn't. And I don't even have any examples of ones that are. Like, my favorite horror films are Pan's Labyrinth, which is fantasy. It's not spirituality, it's fantasy. It's a fantasy horror. Then Funny Games is pretty much a critique on exactly what I was just saying, but doesn't have anything to do with spirituality. I'm actually just going to write that down. Funny Games. And then I'm going to hold it here and I'm going to say, watch that movie. There's a German version, I think. Is it German or is it Swiss? I think it's German. And then there's an American version. Or is it Austrian? Hold on, let me Google. I'm a fake fan. I'm a fake fan of Funny Games. This is terrible. Well, where are you from? Ooh, it's showing in cinemas. That's cool. Didn't know that. Oh, it's giving me... I'm pretty sure it's German. It's Austrian. It's Austrian. Alright. Anyway, there's an Austrian version and there's an English version. One's 1997, one's 2007, and it's basically a shot-for-shot remake, but one's for the American audience. And it's very fun to watch both versions. What about Human Centipede? I admittedly have never watched Human Centipede. I'm just very aware of the, main premise of stitching people together. Which I'm sure has something to it. I just can't really figure out what it is. Because I haven't seen it. Is the film called Funny Games? Yeah. It is called Funny Games, and it is very fun. Where am I again, guys? Chat, it's so over. I was talking to my dad the other day, and he revealed to me that he started using AI for doing his work. And I'm like, no, I can't be the only person in my family who doesn't use AI. Because my sister uses it for work, like for schoolwork, and my mum uses it for her office work. This is the worst. Like, what do you mean I'm the last person who doesn't use AI in my immediate family? I'm so disappointed in everyone. And it's not like they're incapable of doing the things they're using AI for. They're literally just doing it because it's slightly easier. They're just being lazy. And they have the guilt to call me lazy because I don't work every day of my life. Like, I have a balance. I have a work-life balance of being epic and amazing and being epic and amazing and being paid for it. That's my little mini rant that I won't go into. Anyway. Oh yeah. The other thing that comes with this whole assignment is that I have to do a critical reflection. And I'm pretty sure I spelt reflection wrong just now, but I don't really care. Anyway, it's 500 words. In which I need to reflect critically on the TV script. And to do that, I need to be referencing... Oh god, I hate writing with my hand. I feel like all my spelling errors happen when I write like this. Referencing the critical readings. And there's an issue here. None of the critical readings are helpful to my practice. They just aren't. So I need to cherry pick really specific things from these critical readings that were boring and just repeating the same thing 10 times. So that would be really fun. Alright. Let's go to the writing things. For real though. For real. Which means I need to go there. Alright. Let's do a read through of the script. I've picked a really good day to do this, seeing as I am all nasally and not reading things properly. In any case, we'll do a read through. Alright. Episode 1, I Died in a Place. In a small country town in 1998, Grafton, a body has been discovered. Unable to find the identity of the body, the police begin to investigate a small family living on the edge of town. Content warnings. Mature explicit language, including misogyny, sexual references, drug references, violence, gun violence, depiction of a dead body. We're opening with a montage. To be honest, looking at you writing, it makes you feel like you should start perfecting your handwriting so it doesn't look like doctor's handwriting or hieroglyphics. Yeah. Although these days most people are writing with text font, but I write better on whiteboards. It's my drawing tablet has a slight delay, so when I'm doing long strokes, like when I'm drawing, it's fine. But when I'm doing lots of the way I write my letters, it's sort of all in one go, and it does not like that. Anyway, we have montage. Interior kitchen dining room day. Bethany, 37, washes the dishes. A man, Dan, 42, rubs her shoulders tenderly. He says something to her before we see him leave the house. The sun is out, midday. Bethany's daughter, Annie, 17, is dressed up for a date. Her boyfriend appears briefly at the door to whisk her away as Bethany drinks tea from an artsy-looking mug. Bethany writes a note and grabs car keys from the kitchen counter. Exterior, on the road, day. Music plays. The Raven, the Alan Parsons Project. That's why I don't use a drawing tablet with a screen. I don't have a screen. It's just my drawing tablet is just a slate. There's nothing on it. Bethany's red car drives along the country road. She is headed towards Grafton now. We see a shabby but well-tended church. Sirens blare. Bethany slows, allowing for a police car to drive past her and down a dirt road. Exterior, crime scene day. A dirt driveway leads to a plain-looking house. The mother of a small family ushers her children inside while her husband, Ralph, 25, stands near a body. Ralph tries not to look at it. He keeps glancing at it. The body is, at this moment, unable to be identified as the head has been shot at close range by a shotgun. The body is laying with its stomach against the dirt. Ralph's shoulders relax as the police car pulls into the driveway nearby Ralph's car. Detective Avery, 45, a worn, older member of the force, steps out of his car with a cigarette. His partner, the much younger Private Johan, 24, stumbles out from the other side of the vehicle, his face already pale. The music fades out. The Raven, Alan Parsons Project. Detective Avery approaches Ralph. G'day, Ralph. Is it? Well, this is a toughie. How's your wife? She'll be right. Private, check the body. Private Johan hesitantly begins to lightly pat along the body. Right, Ralph, any idea why this fellow was at your house? I don't even know who this is, mate. Sir, is there something I should be looking for? Wallet, driver's, uniform logo, tattoos. There's nothing I can find. Detective Avery grunts as he squats down to begin inspecting the body. Ralph observes as Detective Avery murmurs something unintelligible into his radio. Interior, Grafton XX store, day. Ah, that's not written correctly. That should be hyphenated. Anyway, that's actually not the correct terminology I use. Hyphenated is not the correct term, but... blah, blah, blah. Alright. A man, Mark, rides into town on a motorbike. There is blood on his leather jacket. He alights his motorbike at a pawn store, counting $50 notes in his hands. There are only 3. That's okay. Locust tends the counter. He hands... I haven't put in an age for Mark or Locust. Rookie mistake. Let's make him relatively young. Let's go 26. Young but still experienced. And then Locust, I'll make you 45. A bit older. Old enough to have an impressive beard. Locust, 45, tends the counter. He hands a couple of ruggish teens a pornographic magazine. I'm tempted to just cut that down into porno. Anyway, Mark follows Locust into the staff room. Locust lights a cigar and puts his hand out. Mark places the cash in his hand. The fuck is this, Mark? Mark reads the back of a box of horny goat weed. He seems disinterested. Oi, dickhead, we had him down for 7k. Where is it? Fucked if I know, boss. That's all was on him. Locust scrunches up the cash and throws it at Mark. 2 weeks, dick. Exterior, Grafton Town Street, stay. And I have once again made the same mistake. I'm beginning to think that might be everywhere. But that's why we use a different program for actually formatting the script. This is just me writing the script. Although right now I'm just like reading it, revising it. Alright. And I have not given Kate an age. Let's go 60s. No. She's about the same age, isn't she? 40s. Nope, can't. I'll just do 41. I'm having to revise based off advice we've been given, like, in class. So, if we're giving an age, it's better to just give a specific one than to go 40s or, like, something non-specific. A woman, Kate, 41, watches the exterior of the porn store. She looks a bit ridiculous, wearing a fur coat over a Nimbin Rules tie-dye shirt. Mark is leaning against his bike, flipping through a notepad. Oh, I'm gonna change that to a porno. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna change it to porno up here as well. It's funny, okay? It's funnier to me. It needs to be more Australian. It's not Australian enough. The hell do you want, crazy? There's something grim about you, boy. The fuck are you on about? Kate shakes her head. What the fuck? Can't get any bloody peace around here. Tell you what, I'm not someone to fuck with, you saggy old cunt. I killed a man today. Proud of yourself? Yeah, I'm the shit. Question about you gaming. Have you played Hollow Knight? I streamed Hollow Knight. Oh, no, not still playing Hollow Knight. That was a 2025 adventure. I'm not bringing that into 2026. Bethany in her red car drives past them. Mark spits on the ground before mounting his bike and riding off. Kate approaches a nearby police officer who is browsing a display case of pornographic magazines. That man was covered in blood. No one's ship enough to walk around like that, doll. Police officer, interior, Corona's lab, day. No more bug hugging? No more bug hugging. Unless it's a game about bug hugging. We might still play games. Maybe we'll play games today. I don't know. It still feels strange to, like, write on stream. Okay, fine. Hyphenated. Interior, Corona's lab, day. Police officer A whines as he holds an ice pack to his eye. He and Detective Avery stand a few paces away as a woman in a lab coat examines the body found in the driveway. And so I says, no one is stupid enough to walk around like that. No one would do that. And she sucks me over that. Mads, anything good? Dr. Madison calls him over to the body and gestures to the body's hands. They are rough, calloused. Part of the left pinky is missing. These are old injuries. Whoever this guy is, he was probably a carpenter of some kind. Like Jesus, but we're looking at a man, 40s, some sort of labor background, Caucasian, history of drug abuse. Reckon Jesus smoked. I would've. Actually, should I make that a question? Yeah. Reckon Jesus smoked? I would've, if my old man was God. Dr. Madison slides the body into the morgue and closes the metal door. So that is the first 5 minutes of this episode. I'm thinking I might actually have a scene between here. So I'd have Bethany buys computer. Yeah, she'll do that. And then the scene after this is going to be Annie at the theatre as more commonly known. So a little bit of insight. What actually happened in real life is my aunt, on the night my grandfather died, or the day. Actually, it's really unclear what time he died. That's something I need to figure out. Because the way his body was discovered, you'd assume it was midday. Yes, so this would be after. This would be later in the evening. Sorry, blocked nose. My aunt called her father, my grandfather, and he didn't pick up, obviously, because he was dead. So I want to have a scene about that. And at the theatre, I might have Annie's wife being a bit strange. A bit pushy. Because she's a teenager, she's in a rural town, you'd expect the voice to be a little dodgy. And that's pretty well known about as well. And then we'll do a phone call to Dan. Dan doesn't pick up. And then phone Bethany. And then we get Bethany at... Did I give him a name yet? I don't think I have. Well, we'll call him Ben. Bethany at Ben's house. Setting up computer. And they're going to have a dialogue about Dan, drugs, and also heavily imply that these two are flirting. A bit of flirting happening. Through everything up to here, Bethany doesn't know that her husband is dead, doesn't know that she's about to be treated like a suspect. She needs to be acting relatively normal and only sneaky around her daughter because she's hanging out with another guy. Stretch. Reminder for everyone to hydrate and to check your posture. And to yawn when you need to yawn. Alright. I'm just going to quickly check Steam real quick, see if there's a game I feel like playing right now. Because I don't really feel like writing on stream, and it has been 2 hours, so I could just, raid. But, I don't know, maybe I want to play a game. Is there anything on here I want to play right now? I'm thinking about it. So far, I'm thinking the answer is no. Alright. This feels like a good point to end stream, to be honest. I'm not running away from writing on stream. Totally not. Totally not being a little coward. Totally not being a coward. And also, this has nothing to do with me not enjoying writing TV scripts. I just need different music. Music that won't get me DMCA'd on stream. Oh wait, we could switch to art. We could do art again. We can go back. We can run it back. We can do art. Yes, I think it is arting time. All right. We are now back in the category of art. I'm not even sure if I updated last name to take us to the writing category. Save my writing. Close the document. And pull out the pen. Okay. Alright. Just loosely sort of marking out what sort of pose I want first. I'm not confident doing 3D poses yet. Like really dynamic ones. They're still very difficult for me. I'm still a beginner artist. And at the moment, I've been focusing more on what I like to call silly anatomy. The anatomy that I use to draw. Because I can't be bothered to learn it for real. If I'm a beginner artist, what am I? Also a beginner artist. It's not really a checkpoint system where once you've mastered this skill, you're no longer a beginner artist. Okay. And in any case, most of my art is just color. The actual line art and drawing is quite shit. Let's go like that. Yeah, for me, I just like to have a cool costume and some fun colors and the actual anatomy and dynamic poses and stuff. It does elude me a little bit. And Lobster, when I do my art reviews on his channel, I don't really put much effort into making the line work nice. So a lot of his critique will be, you could have been more intentional with your lines, which is true. But also, I'm not invested enough. I've always liked the idea of being able to do my own cover art for my books, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I'd rather just outsource it. But I'm picky about that. It's really important to me in my writing and actually approaching the publishing part of this that I want my cover designer to be as close to local as possible, Melbourne based, anywhere in Melbourne, because growing up I moved quite a lot around different parts of Melbourne, and so for me being able to encapsulate that is important. So I want to find someone who is able to do cover design who is nearby. And so I don't have to think about depicting it in a certain way, because it's a local way. It's how it is to the people who live there. Also, at the moment, I'm having a bit of a struggle with the pelvic area on all characters, but in particular male characters, because it is very in my nature to go for the curve. But I find when approaching the sort of male hip to pelvic area, it is annoying. Get on that, fix that, evolution, do your thing. Estrogen for everyone. Alright. Okay. That needs to be slightly lower, I think. Nope, that's not quite what hands look like, but that's fine. We'll get back to that later. I say that a lot and then I don't get back to it. And then I just draw it as something stupid. Not quite what I was going for there. It's so weird drawing without a direction, and I'm not quite sure how Lobster does it. Like, it just draws things, and there's no connection between anything. Which isn't a bad thing, just to clarify. It's just a strange thing for me. Because I like to draw everything with a little too much attention. Unless it's like a issue, in which case there's no intention. It's just scuffed. Let's go. Bit of a shag. Let's go there. Let's do some little piercings. Let's delete the arms. We'll get back to that. I say, as I absolutely probably will not get back to that. Yeah. Has anything interesting come out? Oh, there was the Amazing Digital Circus leaks, which I admit I did watch. Mainly because I didn't want to pay money to see it in theaters. No offense to the YouTube, like, independent animation scene, but I really don't think the Amazing Digital Circus had any business being in a theater with, like, movies. I don't think having your TV series finale show up in a theater is necessarily a good move. I was reading an essay the other day for this subject that has no good critical readings. Sorry. And the sort of like the main argument was, let me see if I can remember. There's no way to write a good ending to a TV series or like to a serial because in its nature the enjoyment is that it is ongoing. So once you have an ending for it, it's basically getting rid of what made it a TV show or like a serial. And I liked that opinion because I'm inclined to agree. I do think a lot of what makes like it fun is coming back to it, and it's like, I can't wait to see what happens next week, or I can't wait to see what happens next. And so the finale is always going to be disappointing. And with The Amazing Digital Circus, there wasn't really like a climax in terms of what was happening. We weren't seeing any more of any one character except for Jax. So the only character that had a sort of moving plot was Jax. And so that finale is to deal with Jax. But then it's got quite a big ensemble of characters that people are attached to. And those characters were not developed. They were in fact stagnant the entire time. Like, Kinga had stuff going for him. But the Kinga stuff sort of reached a point in episode, was it 8? Like the last episode before the finale, the penultimate episode. In fact, I would say that penultimate episode, where they're left in like the ruined space that they're in, was perfectly fine as a finale for the entire series. And having watched the leak of that final episode, I'm like, that was shit. It was shit not just because it was like a final episode, but because it felt really like it wasn't a good place to end it. There was still a lot of like questions at the end of the day. That's my take on that, at least. Wait, is that going to be the last ep? The one that's being showed in cinemas? Yeah. It's the finale. And I really do think it would have been better off being served as a anthology series. We need more anthologies. And like really strict episodic things. I think the temptation to make everything collected in this like massive lore finale is a little dumb. Sometimes your really cool world just needs to be an anthology. That's not how you draw a skirt. That's also not really how you draw a skirt, but I can't be bothered, you know? Yeah, I just don't think in this one episode it's actually possible to bring every character and finish their arc in a way that's satisfying. And this isn't my take, but Pomni as a character is incredibly mid. Like, like as a protagonist as well, in the current era of protagonists where we're seeing they have really clear motivations, Pomni's only purpose so far has been to introduce us to Jax. Like, there's a really clear bias in favor of Jax in the writing of the show, which is that, oh, we want to feel sympathy for Jax. Jax is on the cusp of abstracting. Jax is being mean and a dick, and here's the little part of the episode where he's mean and a dick. And look at the special moment he's having. And then every other character is also there, I guess. Which is quite sad. And I think at the moment we're seeing a lot of people are really complaining about endings in TV shows. And it's literally just because a lot of newer TV shows nowadays are sort of live and die by the trends and the hype around them. Hi, Cat. What is that emote? Oh, gay. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the hype that sort of makes a TV show popular nowadays is having a fandom as well. So it's literally just... It's annoying. It's frustrating. And it's frustrating as a writer. Because a lot of the reason why we're having this issue is because it costs money to produce any sort of TV show. And because it costs money, then you need to be able to guarantee to a producer that the show you're making, there's like a point to investing in it. And because of that, you can't really create beyond what is more likely to make money, what is more likely to sell. And we can blame this almost entirely on Harry Potter and Star Wars. We give more flack to Harry Potter because J.K. Rowling's a turf. But J.K. Rowling, why Harry Potter was so successful was because of when it was released. And the sort of influx of marketing, books and media with having lots of merch. So the Star Wars toys, Rise of He-Man, all of that sort of comes at the same time of media being marketed to the masses via merch and hype and trends and things like that. We don't have as many long-lasting classics being produced now. The day she dies, many trans girls will book flights to England and piss on her grave. Yeah, but the harm's already done, and right now, actively, she is funding trans hate campaigns. Like, it's all well and good to piss on her grave, but it doesn't accomplish anything. And while a lot of the harm she has done has been towards trans women and trans girls, everything was affected by what she did. It just sucks that there's one community that has gotten the attention because, again, I'm not downplaying what she has done to the trans feminine community, but she's also very racist, and has just done things to all sorts of groups all over the place. And it isn't even a matter of this one specific group is going to do this. We need to be taking action now, not reacting later. She's just horrible? Yeah. She's extremely horrible. I don't think anyone could really aspire to be as evil as her without, committing literal war crimes. And the worst part is that it's not even just her, because even, what's his face? The devil. There are so many authors that have all this popularity, and then they do really terrible things, and it doesn't stop their media from still being terrible. People just don't react to it anymore. They let it be, like, exactly what it was. Like, there are so many people who are like, oh, I'm not, like, helping J.K. Rowling by shipping James Potter and Sirius Black because she didn't write that. But what they fail to see is that that's still giving credit for her as an author that she doesn't deserve. She shouldn't have that community behind her, and it shouldn't be there for people to fall back on. Also, a lot of the people in that community happen to also support Taylor Swift. So really, I think they're just making up excuses. Because there are so many research, like, well-researched essays that document conservatism and its links specifically to Taylor Swift. Which makes it really funny when people are like, oh, I read Harry Potter and I'm queer and I can still consume her stuff because, like, I'm consuming the queer stuff. And then they like promote all their stuff with Taylor Swift music. And it's like, you're sending me mixed messages here. Very mixed messages. Sorry, I'm thinking now where to put the hands again. We'll just do that for now. No, it's not satisfying. I'm struggling with hands and arms today. I think I'm just struggling in general. But that's fine. Copy and paste. Save me. There we go. Sick of this face. That was not wrong way out. Do I have any colors intended for this character? No. This isn't really a character. This is just me fucking around. Do you have any suggestions for colors for this character? Orange somewhere? Really? I was not thinking orange. I can work it in. I'm going to do another sneaky copy paste for the eye here. And the eyebrow. Wait, even better idea. Do a little raccoon tail. Still not happy with the arms. You know what? I just realized this doesn't have to be a full anything. I can just cut it off right here. There we go. And then we move on. No, we don't move on. We'll do coloring for it. Why not? Orange. There. And we'll also do the belt in orange, just to have it be matching. I don't often use orange in my art. Lopta's beef with green is the opposite of my beef with the color orange. I mean, he even made a video about it. I haven't quite done that, but I do take personal offense to it existing. Realization. Also, my phone is beginning to die with its battery, so that's something to keep in mind as well. You like yellow? Alright, well, guess we'll include yellow as well. Why not? You got personal beef with blue? Why blue? Blue is the best. Same? No, plum blue is so good. No, it's not. Blue is the easiest color to work with. Like, I swear to you. Explain why blue is bad, I dare you. I don't know why I made that sound so ominous. Not ominous, but like threatening. You don't like blue? Is that all it is? You just don't like it? Because that's fair, that's just preference. But it is a really easy color to work with. Audrey likes it. Don't define your likes and dislikes by your siblings. It's like that song you don't like, but you can't explain it. That's fine. That sounds like it's just preference, though. Because I quite like blue. But I can see why some people, it's just, like, not their colour. When I say I don't work with orange, it's because orange screws up a lot of other colours and how they look. because it needs to be quite, it needs to have really high chroma for orange to be orange and not brown, and then it needs to be in a really specific place for it to not be red or yellow. And I like working with yellow, so orange becomes difficult. Orange is sus, let's vote them out. Yes. I agree. Get some yellow in there. And there's some pink. We'll also get some green in there. Why not? I actually saw yellow hair dye the other day for $2 and I was really tempted to get it. I haven't dyed my hair yellow before. So a part of me's like, I should have done it. Would have been fun. That's a little yellow on that one. Yeah, a bit of eye makeup. Yes, I know what I'm doing. There you go. Just like that. Oh, hey Jay. I'm streaming, I'm drawing, and I am dealing with the symptoms of being ill. How are you going? Doing lots of drawing? Any, We did a bit of writing today on stream, actually. And by writing on stream, I mean planning writing and then not actually doing it. Because it's a TV script and that requires more effort. You like turtles? That's nice, cat. I like Miraculous Ladybug. Miraculous Ladybug is so good. I miss it. I say that like I'm not getting more episodes of it tomorrow. 2 more episodes out tomorrow. We had 2 episodes on Sunday. Things are going well. Chloe came back. You're dealing with a lack of sleep, accidentally sleeping, head to school late. It sounds about like how life would be going. You thought it was one at a time? Well, yes, we got a double release. So 2 episodes Sunday, 2 episodes tomorrow. I don't know, I think they hate us. They also released this information like last week, which is like usually we have like 2 weeks before the episode actually comes out. I don't know, they're so strange. It seems I brain farted over here. There we go. Assignment is late as fuck, so hoping for the best. Yeah, I mean, I have an assignment due this week that I really need my throat to clear up for because it's a poster presentation. And then with it, I have like, what is it that I have to do? I don't know. There's another assignment I have that's kind of strange. In your opinion, is the old Ladybug better than the recent one, story-wise? Absolutely not. The new, Ladybug, the story writing is way better. It seems to both be respecting the intelligence of its audience a bit more, as well as just making the characters more likable and expanding on them a lot more, which you really need if you're doing serial writing. Now, I will say they keep teasing the character Mark and they're not doing anything about him, and it is driving me slowly insane. But that's fine. They can drive me insane. It's only been years of my life. And I will say we haven't had the finale yet, and the finale is usually what ties together all the different story threads of the rest of the season. So I'd say for now, per episode, the writing is better. Because we're getting better insight into the characters. We're getting little bits of lore dropped left, right, and that's also quite nice. And also we're getting less like random bits of racism. There's way better representation of neurodivergence and like queer sexuality. So that's been nice. It's been like 10 years, right? Yeah, about that. Art is looking great though, thank you. Or unless you're saying about Miraculous Ladybug, in which also thank you. Because there are lots of people who think it's bad for some reason. They just want nostalgia, which is strange of them. You've got a friend that tells you that episodes are 25 minutes now. The story of each episode just goes really fast. And then them fighting the villain, re-educating the villain, or something like that. I mean, the pacing has increased, but I like that. I like it to be a faster pace. And I'd say, compared to earlier seasons, it's for the best. Like, I don't think the slower pace of the other, like, older episodes was actually good for the show. Because, like, nothing was really happening. It was just slow and painful, and half the episodes were all Marinette is stalking Adrien, Marinette is stalking Adrien, Marinette is stalking Adrien. There was no resolution in, like, each episode. It was just kind of weird. I think some of the fights are shorter, but as well, it's like, when you're this far into the series, it's less about showing off how long a fight can be rather than how effective they are and how they work as a team. And like which episode was it? I think the Dirtifiers had a really good fight sequence. Like, I found it really interesting how they like brought in all the different characters and showed them being defeated and whatnot. Thank you for the hydrate redeem. I shall hydrate with tea. And stretch. Yep, everyone stretch. Everyone hydrate. Everyone be healthy and good. Okay. You might need it every once in a while. True. that's not the angle I want. See, legs are just filling me with rage lately, and it's because I'm getting the angle wrong on the hips. But that does not make it any less annoying. It's one of those situations where I've identified a problem, and it's just making it more annoying to get over. And we'll just skirt it up. Or like towel. Yes. Post-shower towel dry. I had a bath yesterday. It was very relaxing. I recommend just having a bath every now and again. A bath. A bath indeed. You recommend a sauna and an ice-cold tank dip right after the sauna. I've never been inside of a sauna before, I don't think. I've like looked at them, but because I'm not much of a hot weather person, I've always sort of been like, no, I don't want to. Maybe I should. Maybe I should give it a go. Saunas are amazing. I've heard they have really good health benefits. What makes a sauna better than a good bath? More sweat. Sauna cleans you better, plus helps you never get ill. Hindsight. Should have been going to the saunas, then I wouldn't be sick. Because you sweat out the illness. Yeah. But the plan is I'm going to end stream when my phone runs out of battery. Or like nearby. It's currently on 10%. Yeah, she had enough of a foot. No, it's not. How long does 10 last? Don't know. It's also going to be a race between my phone running out of charge, my mum coming home from work, and me no longer having the will to stream. Charger is not nearby, and also I was going to end the stream at 2 hours and it's almost been 3. And that's just because I'm having a relatively good time. Beyond being sick. Yep, a time bomb then. A time bomb indeed. You can tell it's a time bomb because I'm making a pose that really doesn't make any sense, but you know. That's the life. Hold on, let me check something. Oh boy. So tired. But like, not tired, you know? A different feeling. This is not the right proportions to this arm. If you hear any weird pauses, it's me trying to figure out how this pose should be looking. Ugh. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it now. You know what's upsetting? Tomodachi Life. Because it's exactly the type of game I'd love to play, but I do not have a Nintendo Switch. And if it's available to play on Windows, then it probably comes with a virus. But it's only on Switch and you would need a capture card. If you mean for streaming, I don't mean to stream Tomodachi Life. I just mean I'd like to play that on my own. And this has nothing to do with Tubbo playing it. But also, I hate the controls on the Switch. Like, I've never been tempted by getting a Switch until Tomodachi Life came out. And then I'm like, but I hate the controller. The controllers feel so wrong. Yeah. But the PlayStation's fine. I like the PlayStation controller. But I think it's just a matter of, like, familiarity with that. Like, there are some people who will only know the Nintendo Switch controls, and then you show them a PlayStation or an Xbox, they're like, what the fuck? You're an Xbox 360 for life, but PlayStation 3 controllers are good? That makes sense. I like the PlayStation 4. That's sort of like one of my more familiar consoles. I was actually a little annoyed when they removed Genshin from PS4, because that was the only way I played Genshin. And yes, I hadn't played it in a while, but still. I don't know Nintendo's apart from Nintendo Wii U. Yeah, I mean, I had a Wii growing up. I was a Mario Kart 7 kind of kid. But yeah, the Nintendo Wii U is also a lot of fun. But also DSi. DSi was great. And I think the Nintendo Switch is more in line with the DSi than the Wii controllers. Doesn't make it any less annoying though. The gosh you just ordered shipped out? Nice. Which brand did you get? Because I know, is it the Himi? I think it is. Himi's quite popular. Yes, it seems I've done a pose that I've not thought about the clothes. Nintendo 3DS is peak Nintendo handheld. Yeah, I agree. My sister used to go mad for Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. That was an absolute, like, banger of a game. I liked playing cooking games. You know, like Cooking Mama. There's also another one that I can't really remember the name of. That was on just like the normal Wii, but like It was so good. Alright, and that is the sound of my mother being home. So, I am going to end the stream here. Your old one got moldy. You got the mold spray this time, that's good. We're going to raid into someone. I have someone in mind. I've forgotten her name. Don't mind me. Oh God, what's her name? I'll get it in a minute. Sarah, I think her name is. Friend of the Lobster channel. Actually, will we go to iPhone instead? Yeah, let's go to iPhone. Never mind. Change of plan. Someone else. Sarah's currently playing Minecraft, and I think we'll raid into art instead. I just hope that they're still streaming for a little bit. Yeah, where are you? There you are. Alright. Was fun to switch up as fast? Oh, I'm a fast decision changer. That's just how I go. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming. It was great to be back and have so many people around. But yeah. The raid will start now. Bye bye.